Hey y'all, it's Kim again. So I've got several incident reports with the Strongsville Police Department. I had to kind of not really show everything because it's got personal information like addresses and things like that. But anyway, this is Strongsville investigative report. So this is a fight between Mackenzie and another girl. I think maybe more like they might have thrown a few punches. Yeah. But there's several of these in here. There's probably like, let's see. What do I got? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we'll just read through these. But anyway, Redacted and Mackenzie Shirilla have been friends on and off for several years. They got into an argument during lunch, which carried on to after school on their way to the buses. They exchanged words, shoved each other, and threw a few punches at each other. I spoke to both parties at their residences. Neither had visible injuries, and both were advised to stay away from each other and not to post anything on social media about each other. Mackenzie's father, Stephen, was concerned because Redacted's older sister, Redacted, who is 1 year older than Mackenzie, and Redacted came to his house wanting to fight Mackenzie after the initial incident. Stephen was also extremely upset that the girl's grandfather, Ray Martinez, brought Redacted to the house. I asked Ray why he brought Redacted to the house, and he said he thought Redacted was the was at the house actively fighting Mackenzie, so he went there to retrieve Redacted. Ray stated that he and Redacted received bad information about where the altercation took place, and they thought it was on Walnut Creek and not at the school. And then Stephen, excuse me, I'm trying to move some stuff. Stephen asked that all the redacted parties were advised to stay off his property. I relayed this information to Ray, Redacted, and the parties were advised that this will be forwarded to the school for discipline. So that's one incident. So over here, we've got another menacing report. I spoke to Redacted. There was a mother that came to the school, I think, and reported this. And so I think Mackenzie and her friends were kind of bullying this girl after they exchanged some words because Mackenzie didn't get a chip from the girl or some stupid. I mean, some dumb incident in school. I spoke to Redacted, who stated that while she was in third period class on this date, Mackenzie Shirilla called her a B and threatened to beat her up. Redacted stated that this was all over her not giving Shirilla a Dorito chip. Redacted also stated that Mackenzie posted on Instagram last year a picture of her showing her forehead. The caption stated that she had a big forehead. Redacted stated that Mackenzie tried to post a picture again today. This was brought to her attention, she stated, by her friend, Redacted, unknown last name. Redacted stated that she was friends with Mackenzie last year, but ended the friendship because Mackenzie kept getting into trouble at school. Surprise, surprise. Redacted stated she did report this to her guidance counselor. At the end of school at approximately 2:30 p.m., Redacted stated she was surrounded by her at her locker by Mackenzie's friends. Redacted, unknown last name, redacted, unknown spelling, threatening to beat her up and taunting her to fight while Mackenzie stood behind them. She stated she was pushed into the locker by Redacted. Redacted stated that she refused to fight and pushed past them and left for the bus. She stated as she was on the way to the bus, Mrs. Shirilla approached her and apologized for what was going on. It was apparent, she stated, that the school called Mrs. Shirilla about the incident. Redacted stated she told Mrs. Shirilla that she just wanted to go home and got on the bus. Mrs. Muhammad was very upset about this situation and stated she will contact the school first thing Monday morning. I then went to the Shirilla's residence and spoke with Mackenzie and her mother. Mackenzie stated that while in third period, Redacted threatened to beat her up after she asked for a chip and that she did not call her a bitch. Why would anybody beat her up over a dang chip? I mean, this is just so ridiculous. Mackenzie stated that she did tell her friends that she was being threatened by Redacted and stated her friends told her that they have her back. Mackenzie stated that her friends, Redacted, unknown last name, did surround Redacted at her locker after school as she stood by and looked to see what was going on. Mackenzie stated she did not tell her friends to do this. She then stated it was redacted that pushed redacted, shoved redacted into a locker, and then pushed her past her. Mackenzie stated that redacted threw a soda on redacted, but redacted did not report this to me. As for the posting on Instagram, Mackenzie stated it was one of her friends that grabbed her phone, took the picture, and made the post, not her. Mackenzie also stated that she was threatened by one of Redacted's friends. Redacted, spelling unknown, like they don't know how to spell the name, or it's unknown last name. And during the school day, and both Redacted and Mackenzie were given statement forms to fill out over the weekend. They were instructed to give the statements to SRO Koenig, I guess how you say it, on Monday morning to add to this report. So there's that. Well, this is a 15-year-old threatening to harm herself, and the parents do not think her threats are real. They do not believe she will hurt herself. I mean, if you watch Plunder True Crime, Steve Shirilla called 911 to basically report that the daughter, was threatening to harm herself. Anyway, so here's another incident, shoplifting. ARJ stole earrings from Kohl's, earrings not recovered, and then Kohl's, I don't know, is this arrested juvenile maybe? I don't know. Kohl's couldn't prosecute due to the value of earrings being less than $20. So that's one. This is a road rage incident, but what happened, I watched Plunder True Crime. She showed the video where Mackenzie was basically tailgating a guy in the rain, and then he started following her, and then she went to the police department. So, so on April 4th, 2022 at 13:07, so 1:07 in the afternoon, Mackenzie advised Swed, DC, that an unknown vehicle was following her. She was advised to drive to the police station to speak with officers. Mackenzie stated she was driving home from Polaris for school and was traveling southbound on Prospect Road. She stated a dark SUV was tailgating her and first noticed it at Prospect Road and Westwood Drive. When they arrived at Prospect Road and Royalton Road, the subject, later identified as Daniel, exited his vehicle and approached her driver's window. In the video provided by Mackenzie's cell phone, it appears Daniel knocks on the window, stares, and smirks at her. Mackenzie stated she continued southbound on Prospect and turned onto White Park. Anyway, I think what it was, she was just following too close. He wasn't moving fast enough, and she decided she was going to go to the police station and claim, oh, I'm just 100-pound female, blah, blah. I'm 17 years old. Well, you still could get your butt whooped. I mean, you don't be playing with people. Anyway, I don't feel like reading all that. Okay, so this is basically a hit and run, a black Camry. Yeah, a black Camry. That's what Mackenzie was driving. Hit the comp, I guess the other vehicle, and took off. Went into the Metro Parks, then right onto Whitney Road. Female driving the subject vehicle had a dog in her lap and called in a silver Camry. So hold on. So I don't know what this means. The driver of Unit 2 stated that Unit 1 rear-ended him while at the traffic light on Valley Parkway and Pearl Road. There was very minor damage to the rear bumper of Unit 2. The driver of Unit 1 denied striking Unit 2 and had no visible damage to her vehicle. And anyway, so hit and run, menacing, fighting, harming herself stuff. And this is back in Metro Health. So this is August 6th of 2022. The crash happened, July 31st, 2022. She's in the hospital. And it has a combative patient in room 715. So all it has, this really isn't even personal information other than her birth date and her name, but whatever. So she's had a history of things going on, but we're just supposed to think she's just a normal teenager. Her relationship was normal and everything else was normal. Yeah. This was just a tragic accident, like Natalie Shirilla says. So anyway, I just wanted to show those things to you. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take it down again. I tried to, get out as much personal details as possible, but I can't help that somebody didn't redact this stuff, and I'm not going to sit there and go through all of it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, see y'all. Bye.